Then God said, "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Then Solomon began to build the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to his father David. It was on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite, the place provided by David. Hey guys, this is Leo here from Dean Winchester. So I just finished recording my video analyzing the latest episode of Supernatural, but then we got this other cool update with the title and description of the final season finale we'll be getting. I mean, that's just making me sad saying that. Episode 20 of season 14, the finale, it's titled Moriah. So I'll be discussing the title and synopsis in details in this video. I'd like to start with the title of the episode, as that will heavily influence how I will interpret the synopsis. So Moriah in Hebrew, or Marwa in Arabic, is a name that refers to a mountainous region that is the location specified by God in the book of Genesis for Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac. It is a story from the Hebrew Bible found in Genesis 22. In the biblical narrative, God asks Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac on Moriah. Abraham begins to comply when a messenger from God interrupts him. Abraham then sees a ram and sacrifices them instead. The Muslim version of this differs in that Abraham is asked by God to sacrifice his son Ismail instead of Isaac. Ismail is compliant and accepting of his fate in this version, as opposed to Isaac in the biblical version. And last moment he provides him with a sheep to murder instead of his son. In both narratives, the only innocent victim is of course the poor sheep. So what could all that mean exactly in the context of Supernatural Season 14 finale? Let's dive right into the description of the episode to try to put everything in context. Sam, Dean and Castiel are thrown into an epic battle. Meanwhile, Jack becomes disenchanted with all the lies and an old friend from the past shows up. So Team Free Will be thrown into an epic battle. Sounds exciting and awesome, but also very vague. We're used to them being thrown into epic battles, especially in season finales, so we don't really get much of anything out of that without the proper context of the events to come. From the second part of the description, talking about Jack being disappointed with all the lies, what lies does that refer to exactly? So far we have been witnessing a slow but steady descent of Jack into evil, which I talk about in details in my latest analysis video of the new episode. With every new episode, we keep getting hints of Jack not only having no soul, but actually actively moving towards the dark side, Darth Vader style. It all culminated in the ending of the latest episode, the way Jack tortured Nick, and what looked like him killing Mary in anger and confusion. Whether that was an accident or not, regardless. Does Jack consider whatever the boys have been telling him as lies, or do the lies come from the Nick or Lucifer side, or both at this point? Or will they surprise us again with Michael still being alive in Jack after Jack swallowed his essence when he supposedly killed him earlier? It could go in any of those directions with the way the writers of Supernatural work.
We're your family.
You can't.
We care about you, Jack.
No, just leave me alone.
Jack.
Leave me alone.
Please, just...
Leave me alone.
Please. What's happening?
Leave me alone.
What's going on?
Leave me alone.
Jack, just listen. Jack, please. Just listen to me.
Leave me alone. Mary.
We also get the hint that once again we're getting a return of a fan favorite character, referred to as an old friend in the description. Would God really be considered an old friend to anyone on the show? Seems like a stretch to me. So I think it will be someone more down to earth, like Adam, Bobby, or anyone else. God has been hinted at already, so I think he will actually show up, but I just can't buy the way they describe him in the synopsis, if this is who they mean by old friend. So it could be God showing up plus that so-called old friend, or it could just be God. I guess we have to wait to find out. It's just like I said, seems like a stretch to call God an old friend, right?
We should probably talk.
Now, to try to put the title of the episode in context of the description and what we know so far from the episodes we have seen already, so the basic idea is a father will be asked by God to sacrifice his son. The only scenarios that literally applies on the show, with the current focus being on Jack, would suggest that the father-son relationship refers to Lucifer and Jack. This of course does not look good for Jack. If God shows up and asks Lucifer to sacrifice Jack for him or for the greater good or whatever, assuming that Lucifer is back at this point of course, Jack might even follow the Muslim version of the story more closely and decides to comply with his grandfather's order by sacrificing himself to save the world from his power that he is not able to control or use for good at this point.
I don't know what I am. But I know I can't make the world a better place, not like this. I can't even do one good thing. And I know that if I stay, I'm gonna hurt you. All of you. And I can't. You're all I have.
Jack, listen.
I have to go.
No, Jack.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Jack! Jack! He's gone.
Since the title of the penultimate episode of the season is Jack in the Box, this seems to hint further at the idea that Michael is in fact still alive and well inside of Jack, and he would be the source of those noises Jack heard at the end of the latest episode. Maybe Michael is pushing Jack to do evil, and that Archangel box Dean built earlier did not work to contain him and Michael, and he must sacrifice himself to stop him. If the finale goes anywhere near the way I described in this video, my biggest issue would be the execution. Would God really need to ask anyone to do anything for him? Practically speaking, this makes no sense, as God supposedly is the most powerful entity in all universes, along with his sister, Amara of course, would just do whatever he wants, anytime he wants, without going through the trouble of asking, right?
You do realize how insane this is, right?
It's the only sane play I've got. Michael gets out, that's it for this world. And he will get out.
But how do you know that for sure?
Because I do. Because I can feel him in my head. That door is giving, I can feel it giving.
But there has to be another way.
There's not, okay? Sam, you've tried. Cass has tried. Jack. And I love you for trying. But none of it's gonna work.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
What?
Billy.
Billy?
She paid me a little visit. She said that there's only one way that this ends right. And this is it. This. Right here. This box. So she gave up the special recipe and all I had to do was the work. It's fate.
Since when do we believe in fate?
Now. Sam, since now.
So I'm very interested in seeing how the finale will unfold. As much as I rather the focus be on the boys, as I always say, I hope they handle this well regardless. The idea, if true, would sideline the boys almost completely as useless humans being caught in the middle of a war much bigger than they are. I know they always are in those situations of Supernatural, but at least back in season 5 Apocalypse, that story directly focused on them and their relationship that helps them stop something beyond their human physical powers at least. But this season has been all about Jack, so I believe we will indeed see an end to Jack in this finale, with the conclusion of the season being about him. It started with him and ending with his permanent death. To get the series ready to sadly end next season, with hopefully the full focus being back to the boys as it should. If they don't do that, then when will they? It is their last chance to do a proper goodbye to the series we have loved and lived with for many years. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Subscribe for more awesome supernatural content. Until next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Right. Right. Come on.
You know what? You're awesome.
Thanks. You too, I guess.